Hey guys, we're just looking at the Bitcoin chart just on CoinSpot. Yeah, it's obviously we're almost at we got close to a little bit over 190,000, but it's slowly retracted down to about 90,000 Australian dollars. There's recently been a sell-off of Bitcoin by a firm. I think it was like 108 million, and it's currently tracking sideways. In terms of the housing market in Australia, uh, there's been a slight retraction in the housing market. And I've heard reports that in some areas houses aren't being sold all that quickly, meaning they have listings, but it's in many cases it's a drawn out sales process. I'd largely say that cash buyers are pretty rare in the current market circumstances with houses. Uh, you know, the pivotable point would really be 2008, 2018, 2028. Sorry, where we're really getting right to the critical point of where we should hopefully see some interesting movement in terms of Bitcoin. Yeah, there's different people making predictions. I'm not in the business of that, so I'll leave it at that. But we'll obviously keep track with it. The other thing I was going to say with housing, if there's a degree of correction in housing, some people might actually start to preference other forms of making money, such as investing in cryptocurrency, which could potentially cause a little bit of positive movement. So the market might actually increase, but we would have to wait and see. But for me, I don't own a home, but I own Bitcoin. I don't even rent. I just Airbnb and stay at people's houses, and I just move around. It works out so much better for a single guy with no kids, because if you get a job in Western Australia, you don't have a house to worry about. You don't have to put it on the market, sell it, and all this type of stuff. So for me, owning Bitcoin is great because it's there. And it's there. If the price rises, I can make trades on it. But yeah, owning a home is a major problem for a guy like me. No wife, no kids, and with my trade skills, well, quite some time ago, I was offered a job in WA, and the reason I didn't take it was I actually owned a home at that time. So, yeah, so for me, I see no point in owning a home in Australia. You're better off not owning. And people say, well, if you don't get in, it's just going to go up. That's actually false, because in an indefinite growth model, there's only going to be one outcome, or well, two outcomes. One's correction or bust. And in Australia, it would most likely be a correction. Markets can't sustain an indefinite growth model, because what happens is you just have endless increases in household debt. They can't service their mortgage. And on the basis of that, I always stick with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin operates on the Austrian cycle, limited supply, whereas the housing supply is largely just poor economic control here in Australia, and that's the only reason why house prices have increasingly grown. poor economics, houses aren't being built enough. Other crony ideas like negative gearing, which can potentially take houses off the market. I think in Sydney there was about close to nearly 200,000 people left Sydney and for work and that. And to me, one would say there would be some form of correction in rental prices, but apparently the rental prices are still staying the same, which indicates that there's quite a degree of immigration coming in to sustain the cost of those rental properties. Otherwise, rental properties would be actually there should be a degree of retraction in cost in rental properties. But yeah, I stick with Bitcoin, Austrian cycle, and gold, silver, that sort of thing is what I'm interested in. I'm not really interested in houses, but people can do as they please. The one thing I'd say to people is that if you buy a house at $1 million, you're most likely going to have to add another two million to that by the time you paid it off in interest. And on top of that, you also have to insure it, and then you have to maintain it. You can buy a brand new home near the coast. It's got a collarbone roof. But if that collarbone roof gets hit by hail and it leaves scratching, in 10 years' time, you're going to have to replace the whole roof because of the salt content. You buy a house that you want to put as a rental, but it has an asbestos roof. If that roof gets damaged, the insurance company's not going to pay out on it. And that's what a lot of people don't realize about rental properties, or you just buy a house and you rent it out. Well, you've got to maintain it, and there's minimum standards in terms of rental properties. So it's something I've never gotten into. I've owned 2 houses, and in actual fact, I've never enjoyed owning homes. I, by and large, enjoy owning no homes and just go where I can get work and just enjoy myself. So for me, owning a house is kind of pointless. It doesn't make me happy in any way, shape, or form. And but I very much enjoy owning cryptocurrency. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for listening. The other thing I was going to say is it also helps us if people subscribe to our social medias and we very much appreciate it. So thank you very much. I'll leave it at that. Bye.